Before we get into the video, I just wanted to make it known that this video is not me bashing the Episcopal Church. I myself am an Episcopalian. I love the Episcopal Church. I found my home in the Episcopal Church. This is simply just some critiques I have of the Episcopal Church. At the end of the day, I'm still going to be a member. At the end of the day, I'm still going to love the church. Also, if you stay tuned to the end of the video, I do have a sweet deal that you all can partake in. My first point is, I don't think the Episcopal Church and white Christian spaces in general necessarily understand and reckon just how much Christianity was used as a form of oppression. Christianity was and is used as a tool of colonialism and imperialism. In fact, how it got over here to the United States, the Episcopal Church, was through colonists. In Africa, Asia, and much of the Americas, Christianity was brought over by imperialism through colonists. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Christianity is wrong, but how these millions of people were subjugated to it, and their ancestors and their descendants, is wrong. Is wrong, was wrong, because don't get it twisted. A lot of the same stuff and oppression that was happening because of through Christianity hundreds of years ago is still happening now. Think of all the mission trips people take that oftentimes are very patronizing. And oftentimes they go to places like Africa, but they do nothing but photo ops. That's reality. It's sad, it's disappointing, but it's reality. And I don't think specifically we white Christians, I think actually just reckon just how much, our religion was used for colonialism. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that Christianity is wrong, but it's great all these millions of people are following Christ. But we need to understand just how we get all these millions of people to follow Christ. They follow the cross because of the sword. And of course, those issues aren't unique to the Episcopal Church. A lot of white Christian spaces, like I said, suffer from that. And there are a lot of good programs and movements within the Episcopal Church. There are anti-racism programs. We are getting more and more black leadership, particularly more and more black women bishops. And we are doing a lot of good social work, and that doesn't negate all that per se. But we can't, deny history and deny what's happening now. And related to that is, looking at some of the actions of some priests I've interacted with. I've seen too many sermons from white priests of them attempting to be colorblind. I've seen enough evidence that a lot of white Episcopal priests have barely interacted with a black person or a poor person. They're very readily available to criticize other churches for their role in oppression, but they don't take the time to self-introspect how their own denomination has been used as a tool of oppression. That transitions smoothly to my next critique, which is the Episcopal Church's proximity to power. The Episcopal Church literally was founded from a state church, the Church of England. If that doesn't scream institutional power, I don't know what does. And if we look at history, some of the most important and prominent political families and individuals were Episcopalians. Some of the most important affluent families in the US, such as the Roosevelts, Vanderbilts, Astors, Whitneys, Morgans, to name a few, were Episcopalians. 1/4 of US presidents and vice presidents were either raised Episcopalians or Episcopalians during their time in office. Episcopalians, definitely in the 19th and 20th century, were disproportionately represented in the upper echelons of American business law and politics. According to this Pew Research Center poll from a couple years ago, it says that the Episcopal Church has often been seen as the religious institution most closely associated with the American establishment, producing many of the nation's most important leaders in politics and business. And some other stats that say the Episcopal Church also has the highest number of graduate and postgraduate degrees per capita of any Christian denomination. And Episcopalians also rank as the third wealthiest religious group in the U.S. We even have the National Cathedral, where many important things in Washington, D.C. and in general in the U.S. are orchestrated at. Our presiding bishop, he's the guy who preached at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding. You know, you remember that church that Trump did the horrible thing where he gassed out all those protesters just so he can take a photo op? That church is named the Church of the Presidents, or the President's Church. There's even a pew in there called the President's Pew. You don't get one of your churches right next to the White House named the President's Church, the President's Pew, if you don't have any sort of connections. And for a large part of history, and including to this day, the Episcopal Church was definitely ingrained in the power structure. And again, these are not issues that are unique to the Episcopal Church. You know, race, class, gender are things that a lot of Christian denominations and a lot of religions in general struggle with. But if we don't recognize them and call them out, we can't work on them. And with all that said, there are some really great developments happening in the Episcopal Church. You know, the most recent Bishop of Missouri, Dion Johnson, he's a gay black immigrant in a same-sex relationship and has kids. The first female primate in the U.S. in the Anglican Communion was in the Episcopal Church. Followed with that was our first black presiding bishop. We were the first member of the Anglican Communion to openly consecrate an openly gay man in a relationship to bishop. We're one of the few churches in the world that blesses same-sex marriage. You know, and in the last couple of years, there's definitely been an increase in women bishops, black women bishops, who are diocesan or assistant bishops. And that is all wonderful things. And that doesn't necessarily negate all the issues with the Episcopal Church. Those two things can exist in tandem. Thank you so much for watching this video. It wasn't the longest video or the most thoroughly sketched out video out there, but thank you so much for watching it. And again, this is a response to a video I did a couple days ago about things I like in the Episcopal Church. So I'm doing kind of a dichotomy there, things I like and things I don't like. If you like the video, make sure to like and share it with all your friends. If anything in this video thought you to think anything, make sure to comment that in the comments so we can agree with each other, not agree with each other, as long as we're respectful with each other. And if you haven't so already, please subscribe to me if you would like to see more great content. I just recently graduated from college, so I am getting back into the content creation thing. And with that, a website, video editing stuff, all that's expensive. So if you can, please contribute to my Patreon, link below. It would really mean a lot. I have a special offer for you all. Sign up with Skillshare today with the code I provide, and you get 2 months free of Skillshare Premium. This not only helps you out because you can learn a bunch of amazing skills, but for every person who does this, I get a free month of Skillshare myself. I've been on Skillshare for the last month and a half, and I've really loved it. I've particularly been using the animation stuff. This video is not sponsored by Skillshare, but I thought you all should know about it.